Hey lovebirds, it's CC.
And Tristen.
And this is your Sitting with the Suttons recap. We had an outstanding show yesterday where we shared with you how to reclaim your time in your marriage.
Reclaiming my time.
Reclaiming my time. Sister Maxine Waters said it best. You're not going to take my time. You're going to help me with being the best me that I can be by allowing me some individual time.
And understanding the rules.
And understanding the rules, most importantly. So yesterday we talked about how in a marriage, not only is it important that we invest this time in spending together, but it's also equally important that we invest time in ourselves. Apart, absolutely.
So together and apart.
Together.
Because it's important to have that time away from each other to be able to really connect with who you are as an individual and grow as an individual and bring that growth back to the relationship so everybody can blossom.
That's it. And I think a lot of times we take both of them for granted. You know, first of all, we don't even really think about spending time together, especially after you start having children and all this stuff starts going out of whack.
Yeah.
You know, you're just in survival mode at that point.
Just trying to get it in.
Just trying to get in. So, you know, you have to be intentional about not only spending time together, but intentional about spending some of that time apart. Absolutely. Sometimes Tristen needs a break from me, as wonderful as I am.
Yes, I do.
And that's okay. Sometimes I need that break from him. But what's important to understand is that we don't want to necessarily put that burden on each other of feeling like you can't take a break from me, because if you do, maybe that means you don't care about me.
Well, you know, we know she misses me when I'm gone.
Absence does make the heart grow fonder. But for those of y'all who joined us yesterday in our dialogue, we really want to thank you. We had over 100 comments. I mean, just a lot of great energy around this topic, which let us know that, hey, this is something that needs to be discussed probably a little bit more often.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. But let's recap it for those of us who didn't have the opportunity to share with us. And before we do that, I wanted to address two questions that actually came up after the show. The first question was, can you explain a little bit more about this trust thing? How does it work? And so the thing is that, you know, they were trying to get an understanding of, do I just trust that they're going to do what they say without telling me? Or should they tell me? So, for example, Tristan's leaving out the house. All right, Cece, I'm gone. Okay, babe, where you going? Don't worry about all that. Just trust me.
Yeah, I got this. I'm a man. Don't worry about that.
I mean, we're making light of it, but I do know of a couple who that's how they operated, you know, and there are several couples who operate like that.
Operated meaning past tense, they're no longer a couple.
Right, touche. So to that point, to avoid what they had to go through, the trust factor comes in after you have explained where you're going or what you're doing. And this is not a matter of, you know, you don't trust me, how come I got to tell you everywhere I'm going? Because you're my husband.
Yes.
And I'm accountable for you just like you're accountable for me.
We are one.
And we are one. Absolutely. So, again, that trust comes in after we've gotten clarity on what you're getting ready to do.
Absolutely.
Sound
Absolutely. Right? So the other question was it okay to reclaim my time with a friend from the opposite sex? You know, like if Tasha from Insecure came over and wanted to hang out, could I do that? I mean, it's a
you know
vibe.
what? You know what? I am okay with Issa Rae.
Oh, Issa. Okay.
Issa can come over and chill.
We know what happened with Issa.
Well, now.
We saw what happened with Issa and Daniel.
But, okay, so let's back this up for a second. So let's take it from two different perspectives. Number one, some of us come into a marriage already with really good opposite sex friends.
Indeed.
Okay? Now, this is what works for our household. This is not gospel. This is not what everybody should do. But we have an understanding that that's okay, as long as that everyone is being respectful of one another in those boundaries.
RESPCT.
You better find out what it means to me. I'm going to show you. That's the bottom line. But not only does your male friend have to be respectful, you have to be respectful of me as well. Make me feel comfortable about the situation. Right. It all really boils down to communication. Hey, CC, great friend of mine from way back from A&M. No big deal. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's
Can
it.
Come over, wear my gym shorts, all that good stuff.
Y'all, the Suttons are saved but not delivered. I'm trying to tell you. So, to the point that he's making, I think that we agree that yes, it is okay to spend that time with the opposite sex, but you have to be very, very careful, very diligent. Do not position yourselves into something where you both could get caught up.
You slip up. So we're all human. We all have our rules and guidelines. I won't do this. I'm not going to do that. But we're human, right?
We're human. And be very careful with that opposite sex friend in your conversation. So, for example, you know, T and I were feuding at the house. That's not for him to go off and tell Issa Rae Issa, I'm having some issues with CC. That's
keep it in
not
the
what that
household.
friendship is for.
Nobody wins when the family feuds.
That's y'all dropping bars, but it's very, very important that you, if you're going to have a male or a female opposite sex friend, do it responsibly.
Yeah,
do it respectfully and responsibly.
Absolutely.
So let's recap our main points from last night.
Okay. So to help with spending your time together, always acknowledge the importance of that time together and time apart. There has to be unity in those belief systems that, hey, why are you spending the time away from me? I thought we were together. So they got to have understanding and clarity on that, but also know that your partner is going to want to value time together as well.
Right.
So have unity there and understand the importance. Make sure that you take at least 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening just to have some positive talk and sow positive vibes into each other. Don't talk about bills, what your boss gonna do today,
Who got on your nerves?
what the kids, got in trouble, what we gonna feed them, these little children. Focus on just, hey, you looked good yesterday. Really appreciate that meal you made. Love the way you put it down last night. All that good stuff.
Yeah, the good vibes. And that's not to say that you can't address, of course, the important things of life. Those matters are important. But we're talking about the very first thing in the morning should not be, baby, can you do?
Yeah. Baby, can you?
Can you? Yeah, all of that. Really, take the time. It's good to see you this morning. You're going to have a productive day at work. You're going to ace that meeting.
Jesus loves you.
Jesus loves you.
He loves you.
All of it.
Yeah, the other one was schedule a weekly date on a shared calendar. So if you're in a relationship, have a shared calendar and have one date a week on that, every week. And it doesn't have to be expensive. Don't have to be expensive steakhouse, steak and lobster.
It can be at the house.
Well, get out the house maybe, but
maybe
if
you have little ones, sometimes you have to do that.
Share coffee, Netflix, and chill. Just have a scheduled time where you can spend quality time together. That quality take. Try new things together. So be exploratory. Try going to museums, seeing different kind of movies, different restaurants, things like that. Always have new experiences to share with one another because that gives you new conversations to have new memories to share with one and grow with. So
right, and if I can make a quick point here, yesterday we talked about sometimes you're going to share these experiences and one may not like it.
Yeah.
And so what do you do if one doesn't like it and the other one absolutely loves it? Like we talked about my dancing, you have to come to that place of agreement where it's okay, babe. I at least appreciate you trying it out.
Yes, indeed.
I'm not going to give you a hard time.
You got to at least try. And tell them about being a self-care couple.
So he talked about the main points of the importance of spending time together. Now let's talk about the importance of spending time apart. What a lot of couples find is that maybe one appreciates that a little bit more than the other one, and the other one starts to feel neglected, or how come you don't want to spend time with me? I should be the only friend that you ever need, all that jazz. Let's stop the guilt tripping and let's sit down and talk to each other and decide to become a self-care couple. And what that means is we agree that it's important that I take care of me and you take the time to take care of you. We're now on the same page. So with us now being on the same page, when I say, hey, T, I'm going to get a massage, I shouldn't hear no flack. Or when T goes and say, hey, I'm going to go take some golf lessons, he should get no flack from me. So it's really important that you all, once again, get on the same page. And the best way to do that is to just go ahead and agree. Yeah. We're a self-care couple.
Gotta take care of me.
Gotta take care of me.
So we can take care of we.
That's it. And wives, we all know that when our cup is empty, ain't nobody drinking in the house.
Ain't nobody, no cup overflowing.
Ain't no cup overflowing.
When
so
it's dry.
When it's dry. When that water was dry. So it's going to be important for us to step away from the family sometimes. Go get filled back up. And the same thing for our husbands. They equally need it as well. Now, we lastly talked about the 3 elements to making time apart work in your marriage. So here are the 3 things that you got to make sure that you all do in order to make this work. Number 1, you got to be secure in yourself. I can only speak from the female. Clearly, T ain't got no problem with security over here. But sometimes, females, we start to feel a certain type of way sometimes. But it's very, very important that you check yourself, that you discipline your thoughts, and that you remind yourselves, if this is a man that you're married and you say you trust him, trust him. Be secure in the fact that he married you. And though he may go out there and do other things, it doesn't mean that he thinks about you less or doesn't care about you anymore. Really discipline your thoughts. Sometimes we have a tough time with that. I will admit that.
A little bit.
I don't, but some people do. Yes. Number 2, keep communicating.
Yes.
I tell him all the time, there's no such thing as over communication. He thinks that
Sometimes you can't talk a little bit too much.
But, you know, at the end of the day, if you're sharing information that will reassure your spouse about something,
There's no such thing as effective and efficient communication.
I'll go with that. Fist bump. Okay. I'll go with that. So there's no such thing as too much effective and efficient communication. Absolutely. And so in communicating, express how you feel. It is okay. My mom used to always say, you know, you can say anything that you want to say, but it's really all about how you say it. So if you're talking to your spouse and you have a grievance, it's okay to express that grievance, but you have to do it in a respectful, in a calm, and emotionless.
Yeah. No more talking with your hands.
Boo,
Do
boo.
you hear me?
Did I used to talk like that?
Nah, you knew better.
Okay. Well, clearly I was trained, but some of us struggle with that. You know, and I remember being an emotional person. I used to chase you around the house and carrying on, but no more. It's really important that we take the time to, once again, discipline the way we go about communicating with one another, because at the end of the day, we're on the same team.
Absolutely.
And then the last point that we had here, trust, but verify.
Trust but verify.
Trust but verify. And what that means is, it's okay to trust that your spouse is going to do the right thing, but you need to know what he's going to be doing.
Where they at?
And who is he going to be with sometimes, especially if he's hanging out with some people repetitiously. Now, Tristen, for the line of business that he does, he meets all kinds of people. 75% of his clientele are females. I can't go in on every meeting trying to meet all these females. I'm just not going to. But I trust that he's doing the right thing. Now, let it be some friends or some people that he calls himself hanging out with on a more frequent basis.
Have influence over.
That have influence over him and his time. I'm going to need to check that out. And vice versa.
Sometimes it's okay to be nosy.
Sometimes it is.
Every
Sometimes,
now and then.
because we are each other's keeper. He's just as much responsible for me as I am for him. And at the end of the day, I want to be able to say, hey, you know, watch out for this or watch out. I'm not going to tell him, you know, you can't hang out with that person.
Yeah.
But I will strongly encourage him, hey,
Keep your eyes open.
keep your eyes open. Stay woke.
Yeah, stay woke.
Stay woke. This boy loved to sing. So those are the 3 key points. Be secure in yourself. Keep communicating. And trust.
But verify.
There it is.
Well, that is the Sutton recap. Throwback Thursday version.
Throw it back. Throw it back. Again, we thank you so much for those of you all who joined us yesterday. We thank you for joining us today. I hope that you're enjoying work. It is almost Friday.
Friday.
Come on, Friday. It's coming through. We're almost off the clock, but we thank you for your time.
Yes.
Until next time, like, share, and follow our
Be
Facebook
sure
page.
to like our page, Tristen CC.
Yeah.
And share the video. I've included the link of the episode from last night. It was our 10th episode. We're already at almost 3,000 views. So thank you all for helping us make marriage great again.
Absolutely. Blessings to your home.
Yes,
We'll see
indeed.
you next time.